Hello guys and welcome back to our Black Community Days event. So we are coming to the equator of our Black Community Day planet, and now before we get started, let me make a small announcement. So we are still going to give you a free NFT gifts, and all information about it will be in your email boxes right after this presentation. And by the way, don't forget to answer your question in our chat or in Q&A section. So let's move on, and let me introduce our next speaker. He is a mobile solution architect at EPAM, and he is also a leader of our Android competency. So by the way, he also is an investor, NFT investor, and a huge Web3 enthusiast. So guys, let me introduce our next speaker, Mikhail Shepanik. How are you
Hello,
doing,
everyone.
Mikhail?
Hello. Okay, so let's start our discussion about Web3 world for developers. But before we start this, let's go to the space for a moment. So in Observe Universe, we have 2 multiply 10 power 23 number of stars. And if we reduce the size of Observe Universe to only Milky Way, we can discover that we can say that we have around 40 billion planets like Earth. What does it mean? Probably somewhere someone exists, but okay, we are on Earth, but how we can define the different civilizations? So to define how advanced is the other civilization, we can use some scale, which was defined by Kardashev, so the Kardashev scale. The type 1 civilization is the civilization which can consume the energy and store it, which is equal the energy of the whole planet where they live. The type 2 civilization use the energy of the star, which is the nearest to them. So like for us, it will be sun, and we have the concept of Dyson's sphere around it, which consume this energy. The type 3 civilization, on the other hand, control the energy of the whole galaxy. So we have few types of civilizations. And if we back to the Earth, we can discover that, okay, during, let's say, a little bit more than 200 years, we can consume and store much more energy. So looks like we are growing as a civilization, but still we are not the type 1 civilization. We can say that we are somewhere around 0.7, 0.75 in this scale. So probably some more advanced civilizations somewhere exist, but we are during the evolution, yeah. So from Kardashev, we get this scale which define the different types of civilization. Civilization 1, control the planet, the galaxy, civilization type 2, civilization number 3, control the whole galaxy, and civilization 4, level 4 can control multiple civilization, and we can go to the type 8, which generally omega, which generally can define us as a gods. And in web world, we have also some kind of scale, yeah. So the internet started some years ago. Then we get this Web 1.0 standard, which generally was represented by static pages, where we had only read-only content. we were not able to comment anything. The content was totally static, and only one, let's say one owner were able to edit this type of content. If we're in Web3 world, in which we have services like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and many others, we have this concept of read-write. So as a users, we can not only read the content, but we can also comment it, or we can provide some our own some type of our own content, like for example Facebook wall, where we can share the photos, we can show some comments and ideas what we think about the for example current situation. And this word was this Web2 word was created as concept, okay, user in the center, theoretically. But if we take a look at in practice, okay, as a users, we can we can think about it, okay, we can provide the content, but we do not get anything and we don't own this content. For example, our account where we have whole history on Facebook of our life can disappear because, for example, Facebook will close us or block us. And the ownership of the data which we share in the internet is lost for us. In Web3 world, we have this read, write, and trust possibility. So generally, we can own the content which we share in the internet. We can be part of the creators of some services. So let's start our discussion about Web3 world. But first, maybe I will share a little bit about me. So as was mentioned, my name is Michał Szczepanik. I'm solution architect here at EPAM, and generally I like new things and some crazy things. Because of kids, I am big fan of Lego. I also like some tool which is called Half Bike. So if you would like to try something which can kill you, I recommend it. And I am a big fan of the NFTs. And here are a few projects in which I invest. They are all from Poland. So as it was mentioned somewhere here, the Europe is, let's say, still not advanced in NFT. And I can say that this is not true. We have a lot of projects, board founders, clubs, quite interesting concept, and community. Firestarter, okay, this one is totally Polish one for now. Hey Edu or EduWorld is something which create totally new concept of Web3 type of education with gamification and good tracking of how you learn. So we have the assistant, we have also some special type of trainings which generally don't allow you to go further if you don't do the basics. So for example, if we have there the crypto related course, okay, it can learn you how to buy Ether or some NFT, but before that you need to learn about the security, and everything is done by practice. So let's go through this concept of Web2 world and how it affects us as a developers. So Web2 and Web3 worlds are, let's say, not that big. They do not have that big difference. So generally, it's Web3 we can name as extension of Web2. In Web2 we had the application, some database, some solution as a service. Usually in cloud or host, everything was centralized, one owner. So the company owned the service, like for example, Google, Facebook, or whatever. And we need to trust them that, okay, if we put something there, they will not remove it. In Web3 world, additionally, or on this type of system, we integrate with blockchain, which define our ownership. So because of this blockchain technology, we see that the ownership here is something which do not require our trust that someone can take this from us, because everything is controlled by nodes, different nodes, so it's decentralized between nodes in this blockchain. And even if someone will try to do something wrong, the consensus protocol should avoid this situation. Of course, if we are talking about Web3, the term is much bigger, so we can introduce some metaverse, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and everything like that. So all new technologies may support us. But let's say if we try to create some basic Web2 type or Web 3.0 type of service, we rather should focus on the blockchain and this multi-ownership, which can be provided, for example, by NFTs. So as a developers, we first need to understand the blockchain. So sorry if there will be some basics, but I would like to highlight some things which are important to understand as a developer. So blockchain is generally chain of blocks. So we have some genesis block, then when it's full, we add the next one and the next one, and each block is signed by some kind of hash, which is this difficult part which need to be counted by miners if we are in proof of work type of blockchain. So the complex calculation which require a lot of resources, and as a price we usually get some cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum. If we are talking about the hashes which we need to count and store, generally for this block we can store the hash of the block itself, the hash of the previous block, and the hash of the current world state. So it includes all changes which occurs. So this is something which most of us know, but if we are thinking about the development of this kind of system, what happens when we would like to create then when we need to create the next block? And there are a few things which are important to understand as a developer. So as a miner or the node, we generally try to create the next block. I have the some kind of mempool or pending queue of transactions, which I would like to put in the block. I can choose the transactions which are the best for me. So usually the ones which give me a lot of gas, which is some kind of additional money which I can get for calculation in the Ethereum world. And I do these calculations of the hash, which is quite difficult because finding the right hash is problematic thing. So it usually takes a few seconds. And confirming that this is the right hash is really easy because, okay, when we know this hash, it's easy to check that this is the right one. And as a miner, we can select what transaction we would like to put. Then we get this block to confirm by other nodes. They confirm and it can be added. But okay, we are in decentralized world, so it can be the situations that in other place on the earth, someone will count the block free also and found the cache in almost the same time. So we can have the situation that we will discover some node will discover, okay, but I have block free here and block free here, so I have conflict. and then one of these forks need to be dropped. And usually the consensus protocol is first thing which check how it is done, and if each block, if blocks are correct, and then if both are correct, the block which will be chosen will be the one which has more values. But let's imagine the situation. Okay, we are in this decentralized world, and we have, for example, some network issue, and Australia, for example, was disconnected for a second from the rest of the world. So few blocks were counted here, and few blocks were counted in Australia. And when the internet back and the nodes synchronized to each other, we discovered that, okay, we can have the conflict. Then the fork also, which has, let's say, more value, will be selected. That's why, as a developers, we should remember, okay, I have block and I have some transaction here, but I don't have the block 4 after it, so the next block. So it means that, okay, I cannot say that I can trust this transaction yet. So we need to have few blocks after that to be sure, okay, the data are valid and I can trust them. Usually this number of blocks after our block is around 7, and then we can say that, okay, we can trust this data. I think never in history of Ethereum we haven't had the situation that 7 blocks were in conflict. So this is the reason why we can say that it's okay. And another thing which we need to, let's say, be aware of is, okay, comparing to the centralized systems, we don't have this, let's say, typical database which we can consider, yeah, if we're thinking about the blockchain, because these kind of conflicts, in standard system, we have transactions, we have all other checks which allow us to trust the data as is. Here we need to have some time to be sure that everything is okay. And if we are talking about these transactions and things like that, we can say that, okay, we can have account. In this account, we can have the wallet from which we can transfer, for example, Ethereum. And of course, for any kind of operation, we need to pay this kind of gas, which is defined in Vase, where the Vase are something like Ethereum cents. So 1 Ethereum is, if I'm correctly remember, 10 power 18 of Vase. So so the gas value define, this is this price which we need to pay for any kind of transaction, or for example, for buying the or mining for buying the NFT or operation of the cryptocurrency. And we have the contracts. So generally contracts has some value. The state, which is defined by code, which define the contract itself. So so having this kind of structure, we need to think about what we can do with contract and what this contract is about. So we can have two main types of contracts. Of course, there is much more. The ERC20, which is typical, let's say, basic token, like for example, Matic, I think Tether, Chainlink, etc. And we have the NFTs. So this nice new type of contracts, which allow us to, let's say, have the access in this Web3 world. And in case of contract, okay, we can deploy it, send transaction, call the contract. In some blockchains, we can also delete the contract. I think our Arbitrum is the one which allow to do this. And of course, all the operations which we have are stored in the blockchain. So when we define the contract, it cannot be changed. Also, the action which we do cannot be changed after it will be approved by the blockchain. So the Web3 concept is something which is decentralized. So we have this structure of the blockchains which allow to confirm our ownership by other users or builders of this let's say contract. Is permissionless, so everyone can access it without any problems, and cannot be excluded because of the way how the blockchain guaranteed. And we have these native payments like cryptocurrencies, which are, let's say, a little bit independent to our standard money. So they are also controlled by the blockchain, which make this work quite easy to manage in case of worldwide. So we don't need to think about changing the currency if we are playing with this country, if we are playing with this country. If user has Ether or any other cryptocurrency, he should be okay. And trustless, everything works on this mechanism of blockchain, which do not require to have some third party to confirm that, okay, this person has access to this system. If we take a look at existing systems, which most of you know from the Web 2.0 world, they have some alternative forms in these Web3 forms. And generally, this is some kind of new era of the internet, which comes to us really fast. I think the biggest challenge right now is the mindset of the users, which need to a little bit change to understand, okay, I can be an owner and I can sell my ownership to someone else quite easily. So it's like for example, the stage when we discuss, okay, we have internet, we will probably be able to buy something by the internet quite soon. Today it's something totally normal, but a few years ago, buying something via internet, it's scared. So the same probably we have with the Web3 right now. If we go to the mobile world, we can see that even the concepts of some totally Web3 phones is on track. For example, Solana Saga is one of the concepts, which is totally Web3 phone based on Android with some combinations, which generally give us option to mining the NFTs anywhere, play with the Web3 games quite easily. So we can, for example, have the hero in the game. We can get something in the game, and this, for example, sword will be represented by NFT, and we can spend this on the market. So we can get some real money after we play, for example, few hours in some game. So it's no longer the time when we cannot get some money for playing. If someone would like to get this sword and buy it from us. And many other things. So much easier trading, and generally the access, which is quite easy. So instead of having the multiple accesses to different systems, like, okay, I need to have the username and password for Facebook. I need to have username and password for Gmail. I need to have the user and password to, I don't know, some service to book the tickets. I can use only one wallet, and using some secure password, usually it's a combination of 12 words. I can access every system without big problems. If we are thinking about the ideas how we can use that technology in our business, we can say that, okay, we have the company A and company B. We would like to start some solution together, but okay, I have my own users as A, I have my own users as B. So okay, we need to exchange the user data, which which require the GDPR agreement, etc., etc., and it's problematic. Let's imagine that we are before merge, and company A would like to do some product together with company B, and each of them has NFC. So this solution can work in the way, okay, we allow to access this service or allow to access the service of company A having the NFT A, so we can access here and here. Having the NFT company B, for example, you can access here, here, and here. So only what we need to check is the wallet of the person, which is unknown because the wallet itself is anonymous. So till we, let's say, do not share that, okay, this number is my wallet, no one knows that, okay, this is my my wallet, and I control everything what is there. Same use case which we can consider is, for example, the tickets for the concert or for the match or whatever. And usually we have this underground market that, okay, someone bought 20, 50 tickets and sell it then 2-3 times more expensive than the original price for people who would like really join this concert, for example. And we as our organizer get nothing from that. If we will release this as an NFT, then this selling process and the way how the ownership is changed is controlled by blockchain. And also we in the contract can define, okay, if someone will sell it, you need to count some additional money for us to get a profit because someone sold our contract first buying it from us. So we can check how the market works with the tickets. Some other ideas which we can consider like more mobile approach, for example, is, okay, someone had the fitness club. Yeah, we had this COVID situation that fitness club was closed. So any person who goes to this, pays some subscription, will not pay me because they cannot use the gym, the physical one. But if I will have the community and some kind of NFT concept, okay, I can think about changing the way how I provide my my service. And for example, I can create the mobile application or some other web service where the NFT give the access, and people who get the subscription can access it. Maybe some pay additional money or share this concept to others, and I can still get the money even if the situation on the market goes that I'm not able to do my basic service. Also in mobile world, for example, we have the application A, which was some kind of startup. So access to it, released by NFT. We create the next application. We would like to have more users there. We can also do the airdrop for our for people who trust at the beginning. What they do with that depends on them, but we can define in this contract that okay, some additional cost some additional money goes to us, and we can quite easily give them access because they have the original NFT, do the airdrop, which goes that, okay, they will sell it or give the other people. So we build the community around the other applications quite easily. We don't need to, let's say, start this business from the beginning, thinking about, okay, some payment systems, etc. Depending on the country, then some additional operations, stuff outside of the Google or Apple stores, like third-party solution of the subscription. Everything is handled by this Web3 solution, which also give us, let's say, for free the way of payments. And another thing which is, let's say, good starting point for us is, for example, application which is some kind of DeFi dashboard like Zapper or something like that, which allow us to create the Web3 application without thinking about the contract, which is quite difficult thing to design at the beginning. So tools which we need to have as developers, and usually we should use, is for creating the contract. If we are thinking about the Ethereum blockchain, we need to think about the Solidity lang, which is the lang for these smart contracts in Ethereum blockchain. The other two tools are used for some testing purpose and the development itself. Of course, at some point we will need to think about MetaMask, because this is the Web3 wallet and allow us to store all our NFTs, etc. So we can quite easily access them or check the ownership of the check that user has the NFT using the MetaMask solution. The Infura itself is the provider of the infrastructure for connecting to Ethereum and other blockchains. So it gives us everything what we need to connect to the blockchain. MetaMask is using it, I think, under the hood. And if we go to this Solidity concept, so the lang, as you can see, it's not complex. So it's some combination of, let's say, C++, maybe JavaScript, some other langs. So most of the developers are able to read the code. But comparing to the standard development, we, let's say, cannot use the, Stack Overflow, copy paste something from here, copy paste something from here, because our code of our contract will grow really, really huge, and the deployment cost is of this contract is also defined by gas. So the size of the contract is also quite important, and the complexity of it. And it's really important to, let's say, think how we can build the contract, which include all important informations in the way that it will be small and will not cost a lot of the gas, because, come on, gas is our money. And another thing which is important here, in case of contracts, we cannot have the bugs, because if we release the contract, we cannot change it. So the testing of the contract is quite important. It's good to do the audit. And if something goes to the blockchain as a contract, we cannot change it. The workaround which can exist is the concept that one of the start contract will be some kind of proxy. As you can see, we have different type of contracts. We can use the proxy contract, which define the state as an address to the final contract. This is good to work around if we have the risk that our contract will have the issue. But on the other hand, I think no one who knows how to read the contracts will not choose this type of contract and will not buy it from us. For example, this NFT, because the risk is that me as an owner can I am providing only a proxy to something what I can change. So it's not the contract between us, because we are signing the contract of the proxy, not sign the contract which defines step by step what will happen with this contract. So this is quite important thing to know if we will consider this kind of workaround, and this is rather not the best solution for most of the cases. Of course, the Ethereum is not the only blockchain where we can release our contracts. So if we have something more important where the, let's say, reliability of the blockchain and trust on the blockchain is not that important, like something, for example, inside our application, like tokens, which we get because of some progress or anything else. So we already have the user. We can think about the different blockchains which are cheaper, so we don't pay that the same amount of gas for release the contract. Like for example, Optimism, which is also created by the people who create the Ethereum. So we have different options. If we are going to the implementation of the contracts, we can think about the different tools. If we are JavaScript developers, for example, Web3 is one of the options. If we are, for example, Android developers, then good start is Web3, or if we would like to do some integration with Ethereum blockchain on our backend, which is written in Java. So Web3 is the solution which allows us to communicate with the Ethereum blockchain. And it supports the wallets, it supports smart contracts, allow to do the operations, allow to do the checks of, for example, NFTs or any other contracts. So we can quite easily play with it. It's quite popular and quite easy to use. So if we are thinking of the development of the Web3 type of application, this is, I think, good point to start. We even don't need to think about the contract if you would like to, for example, create this DeFi dashboard kind of application, because we can quite easily access our wallet using the code which we will see in a few slides. So first, we need to, of course, add the dependency to our project and internal permissions if we are thinking about the Android to Web3. We need to define the values for wallet, contract, and of course the chain, the URL for chain. So so generally we can get them also from MetaMask, like the wallet address. But for that, I think Web3 is not the best option to choose. There are some easier ways to do this. So next thing which we need to do is create the operation which will, for example, count the tokens and do the operation which return as number of the tokens which we have. Be aware that without this kind of libraries is a little bit difficult to play with only Java, with pure Java code. So without the libraries, it can be not that easy, because the way how the time values are represented by the Ethereum blockchain and the contracts is a little bit different than in Java world. So we need to have the special structures which Web3J provides. We also need to connect with the chain, which is few parts of few lines of codes. So generally, we only need to connect using WebSocket or any other way which is provided by the chain which we would like to use, and then get the balance of the contract which we of the wallet which we would like to the balance of the contract under the wallet is done like that. So it's rather not a lot of the code. So creating the Web3 kind of application is rather not a difficult task. It is rather more problematic if we are thinking about the contracts. If we are thinking about the way how we would like to integrate with mobile application backend, etc. But the general usage of the connection with the wallet, checking that, okay, I have this contract and things like that, which give us the access to the system, and which NFT is mine, because the NFT itself is defined by the number. We can quite easily understand how we can play with it. So as I mentioned somewhere previously, you would like to try the development on your own, and you have your own wallet in Ethereum network. Infura is one of the options where you can create the account and try to, for example, check your balance using the code. And in case of mobile solutions, we of course have different platforms. So for Android, Web3J or Wallet Connect are quite good options to start. iOS has Web3 Swift and also Web Connecting implementation, but this time not in Kotlin, but in Swift. And for Flutter, we have Flutter Web3, which I personally prefer, but more popular is Web3 Dart as a project. So it's rather up to you which you choose. For React Native, we have also some solutions, but let's say Web3 React Native thing, which was, let's say, listed a lot on Stack Overflow, is something which is not longer supported. So try to find something which is better to use. And unfortunately for React Native, I don't have, let's say, some best recommendations for now which can be used. And if we think about the pros and cons of Web3 world, we, as I mentioned, are in the moment that, okay, this is something new. And a lot of people don't understand that, okay, I can buy something which is represented by some graphic, like, for example, the one which represents the fire started, which I have on the title screen, or picture of monkey, which costs absurd amount of money. And this is something which people understand as an NFT for now. So, but in real, under this, we have this contract which defines what we can do with this NFT. Also, if we are thinking as from business perspective, one of the pros of the Web3 world is that, okay, we can create some temporary or time limited tokens, which give some values, for example, in next 3 years, but after some date, their value is nothing because they will, let's say, disappear, and or generally will not give any values. And this is something which we can define in the contract. I think that another problem which we have is that, okay, NFT is something which requires some understanding of the way how the contract is written. So we need to know the programming language to understand that, okay, the contract defines exactly the same thing which is described by the text which define the NFT in more human-friendly form. So also the level of trust is something which generally need to jump some barrier. The one of the problems which we can see is, okay, this kind of delays to, let's say, get the ownership, because, okay, we need to process in the blockchain. So sometimes the scalability can be a challenge because comparing to the centralized world. But I think this is not that big deal, which can affect a lot of businesses. So, but I saw that this is one of these advantages mentioned in many places for these kind of solutions. From Web 3.0 in mobile perspective, I think this can be a future. So I think we can go through Q&A right now. Dennis?
Yeah, okay, guys. What can I say? It was super awesome. It was super interesting. Michal, thank you very much for a good presentation. And we have a free time, so if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. So, Michal, how do you see the future of mobile in terms of Web3?
Okay, so as we see, some concepts of the Web3 phones start be, let's say, proposed for the market. And to be honest, okay, as a normal user, let's say normal human who don't think about the cryptocurrency and NFTs and stuff like that, I for now don't see the reasons. But when you jump into this world, access to the wallet, let's say everywhere, having the MetaMask application, access the, I don't know, Discords of all the communities or web pages where we can access things easily, mobile apps, using, let's say, only one way of logging is something awesome. And the fact that, okay, I can have some application on my mobile phone, for example, a game. I done the big progress in this game, and but after some time, I discovered that, okay, it started with 15 minutes per day at the beginning. Yeah, I think all of us know this scenario, and
yeah,
at some point we discovered that, okay, this game took me half of the day. So what I can do, I can uninstall it, but if I have the ownership of the progress in this game, I can sell it to some other crazy person who would like to, let's say, progress much faster. Okay, it can be, let's say, something which for gaming industry can be, let's say, not the best solution. Depends how we take a look at it. Some gamers mentioned that it can be scared, but this is one of the options. Also, let's have the scenario like one of the NFTs which I have. It gives me access to some trainings, courses about some modern technologies, yes? So I go through all of them, and I don't see, let's say, I use this value. And right now I can share it with someone else to give this access to the same trainings or sell it. Also, let's say the way how we can process with, for example, as a company, we have some training portal to which we have access as NFTs, and we have a lot of employees. So we can, let's say, assign this token for 2 weeks to one person, or provide some 2 weeks tokens where the person can choose the course, do this, and finish it. Then, if he needs more time, another token, or give the token to another person. So the way how we can share the access to something is also something which can be really nicely solved, and the same in a mobile world. So this is my expectation about it.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. And still we have a couple of minutes left, so I have one more question. And why do you think Web3 important for this market right now? Why we should follow to it?
Generally, it addresses a lot of the things which we haven't had in the Web2 world. And I think that, let's say, situations which we had at the beginning of this year, or generally during even the COVID, shows that, okay, we can quite easily lose something which is digital access to something without having, let's say, some control of it. So Web3, the usage of blockchains give us this opportunity that, okay, we can we have the ownership, which is really difficult to take from us. Of course, if someone hacked our wallet, it can be problematic. But this is something which we should address and control on our own. On the other hand, in the Web 2.0 way, if we had the same password for multiple systems, if one of them were hacked, the person can access any other quite easily. Here, the password is, let's say, much more stronger. So we rather control our security. Okay, so maybe before the last questions, thank you everyone for the attention. If someone is interested more in this Web3 stuff on Medium of mobile people, so our community here, mobile community here at EPAM, there is first blog about Web3 for developers. This start the series, which should occur every 2 weeks, with the new blog, which describes some next steps of the this, let's say, new trend of world. And if we take a look at this Web3, do we have any other questions?
Michal, unfortunately, we are time boxed and we have to wrap it up. But
okay.
I will ask you a question, and I will ask you to answer the rest of the question offline, and we can post it in our community. So thank you very much, Michal.
Thank you very much. One thing which I would like to mention, I think 2 days left to get something like that. So if you have some NFTs, cryptocurrency on your wallet, this type of solutions like Ledger is really useful for your security. And because of the merge of Ethereum, the price is, let's say, much less. So I think security first. This type of tools save your life, save my life many times.
Right.
So it's really recommended by me.
Okay. Thank you very much,
like
Michal.
Thank you
again. Yeah. And for our audience, I'd like to say that we have a lot of more interesting information. Also, a lot of more very interesting speakers, and stay with us. And goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.